I thought I would come on here and finally tell my story. You may hear the dogs rambling around. I'm gonna try to minimize it, but it's such a beautiful day outside today, so I thought I would sit here and do it.
Am I just sunshine and pink clouds in the sky and everything is right?
I feel like this video is going to be all over the place because that's how my brain works, so bear with me. I'm so sorry. Hopefully in editing I can just piece this together very nicely. But the main reason why I really wanted to work on myself is because I saw a lot of issues in every area of my life, and I believe now, knowing that your childhood is a lot more important than you really think or you know about, because it actually develops your perspective and how you see the world, how you see love, how you give love, how you receive love, and kind of the core of who you are and the way you act all stem from childhood and how you were raised. So this past year, 2024, April 2024 to April 2025 was a big year for me, for my childhood traumas.
I'm like nervous. I don't know why I'm nervous. Something's like I'm nervous.
My spirit guides, my God, in this lifetime, I'm so grateful for this. I'm grateful for the person that I am going to be. I'm grateful for the person I am. I'm grateful for everything that possibly will come into this lifetime, because I'm able to manifest anything that I exactly want in life. Because that's what I'm bringing into this lifetime. It's a reset. It's a transformation. I'm about to love and have a level up the love I have for myself, because I'm able and willing to do the work, to go through the hardships in life, and to really figure out what is going on in my head. I tell myself every day, you're made to do hard things. Basically was so committed learning about the healing journey. I learned energy healing in 2020. It was during COVID, and it was during a time where my spiritual journey started. I always just believed there was a higher power or something bigger. I grew up Catholic, and I always just believed God, Jesus, higher power. And I'll use those terms because that's what I've grown up using. I feel like for me, going to a medium is much more powerful impact on my life, because I'm not a type of person that really tells people what I'm going through. I'm a very private person. For me, it's just a different form of therapy. My spirit guides know things that people just don't know. And so I had like a couple readings before that, grabbed a journal, started using a journal. She's like, you're gonna need a journal, and that's gonna really help you. I started journaling back then. It would be like, dear diary, blah, 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 like today's this. Now I journal, word vomit. Like anything that comes out, I just get it out of my head. And that's what has really helped me on my journey to really let go of those thoughts, because I'm a very empathic person, and learning on my spiritual journey, and I'll get to that, but I pick up other people's thoughts and emotions, and so sometimes I don't know what's mine and what's theirs. So with journaling, you can get your thought and ideas and perspective out on paper without having outside criticism or attention to it. You can fully and be wholeheartedly yourself and just release everything that you can possibly think of. Sometimes I'll burn it, sometimes I'll write down everything that I'm feeling, anger, just writing down I hate you, just very helpful too, that I've learned in the beginning, and that's what I've learned from a medium. Then my sister, she got into energy healing, and I believe that older sisters are very just your spiritual teacher. She's just my teacher in this lifetime, and she's taught me a lot of things, just life in general. My sister is 7 years older than me, so she's just gone through things before me. So she did some energy healing. She just had her baby at the time, and I was in my last year of university, and she recommended just doing energy healing because it helped her. So I did my first energy healing online, and I didn't think anything about it. I was like, okay, we're just gonna lie here. And when I was doing the energy healing, I would see like vivid colors, and I'm a very visual person, and learning that I have clairvoyancy, where I'm able to fully see an image or a scene happening, and that to me is just how I receive messages mainly. But that really was the start of my journey. And she asked me what I was stressed about, why did I come in for my energy healing session. It was because I was like, I have exams, I'm kind of stressed out. She asked when it was, what the day was. She said energy healing to it, and then I went to my exams, and this was my first time. Looking back now, I'm an empath, so I pick up people's energy. So test days was the worst for me. It'd be body sweats, wouldn't be able to focus. I really had a hard time on test days, and I'm learning back now, people's stressful energy, it comes to me. But I'm learning now to put up my shields and protect my energy, or knowing what my energy and what someone else's. I went to my exam that day, and I felt so calm. I've never felt so calm. I didn't sweat. just wrote my exam so calmly. And I didn't think anything of it until I looked back. Wow, that was like my first time. I haven't had anxiety before I write my exam. That's my first experience of what energy healing was. From my first session, I really wanted to learn it. So literally week 2 or 3 weeks after I learned energy healing, that really heightened my abilities to really understand energies. And that was me practicing on myself, practicing on other family members. I started to do energy healing on clients. And the correct term is Reiki, but I just like to say energy healing. I had my first client and I was kind of freaking out about it, but it was a big moment for me because I really saw like spirit in the room. And that was my first experience. Sometimes I'm just like, wow, I actually have this ability to really change people's lives and really help them. And that's why I love energy healing, because it just heals so many things and you could connect with someone on such a universal level and understanding. I know exactly what you've gone through because I've been there. Sometimes spirit will show me messages of what I'm feeling to relate to them. And I do my readings like a girl chat. Let's go talk about what's going on in your life and let's work on it and let's grow together. That's how I do my readings now. And so I had my first session. I had like first seeing a full spirit in front of me and I freaked out. So I stopped really doing anything of it, and I just kind of rejecting the whole thing because I would wake up in dreams, have spirits like come to me now that I'm knowing like what it is, but I would just be freaked out. I'd be like, I don't want this, I don't want to be weird. Learning that once it's your calling and once it's like something that you have the ability to do, it's gonna force itself upon you, but it's gonna be really hard for you to run from your true self and what you're supposed to be doing on this earth. So that was 2020, how it started, and then now we're at 2025. But April of 2024 is when I really started on my childhood traumas. I had a call with a medium and she basically read me to the point where I really needed to hear it for this year. I'd never been able to quiet my brain and I really needed to work on that, and I wanted to work on that. So I started with astrology. I'll tell you guys my big three. My big three is my sun sign is a Virgo, my moon sign is a Virgo, and my rising sign is a Libra. And your sun sign is the core of who you are. Your moon sign is usually how you received love as a child, emotions, and then your rising sign is how you show up socially. I'm a Virgo, so I'm the biggest critic to myself, and I'm a double Virgo, so I grew up in a very critical household. And the Libra rising, it's a very just balance. I like balance and order. I like harmony. I like when everybody's having a great time. Then I started to learn about life paths, and I'm a life path number 2, which deals with all emotions. So I receive a lot of messages and I receive a lot of lessons in my life through emotional circumstances. I'm such a moon girl. I'm just a life path number 2. My number when I was younger was always 2. And then I'm born on the 20th, like 2. I bring harmony and balance through emotions. I'm very sensitive. I'm a sensitive soul, but nobody knows that because I'm a Virgo. Because Virgos are very in their head. And then I'm a Libra rising, so I look and perceive as like everything's fine and balanced, but in my head it's just like growing up. I grew up in a very critical mindset, how I was. My mom and my dad got married and they met in Dubai, and they had my sister and my brother in Dubai, and then they came here to Canada and I was born here, and my family's basically all immigrants, and so we were just different, did not fit in. There was probably one other girl or like 2 other girls that looked like me in my grade. There were sometimes I would just throw out my lunch because I would be like, it's gonna smell. Looking back, and then I hated like thinking about that. I was the youngest child, so I was very quiet and I didn't like speak up, and I knew ruffling the feathers just didn't sit well. My nervous system was never just chill. It was just always alert and just never knowing what to say. My grandma was just old school mentality, and so was my mom. Also from a foreign country, so just the way they did things and the way they operated was just different than anybody else. I didn't invite friends over. Like, I was just very private. In my reading, she also was saying that you should go to therapy. You would learn the tools that you need in order to help you on your journey in your life. So I did, and I took them very seriously. I had my first one, and she was just like, from therapy, she's taught me a lot of things, how to bring up situations and sit with them. Sometimes I didn't know why, but I would just get very angry or very passionate about things, and I just didn't know why. I can't hold back. It's just word vomit. There's like a lot of things, like emotions that coming up to the surface I've bottled down, and so she was showing me or teaching me ways and techniques how to sit with my emotions. So I started to do do some meditations and really heal from that. Ho'oponopono. I'm probably butchering that, but that has really helped me on my journey. It really helps you be able to forgive and heal from things in your life, for yourself, for others around you. I've done it to everybody in my life. Past friendships, past relationships, family members, yourself. Really helped me with a lot of things, just to forgive, understanding that other people are on their own healing journeys and they're on their own paths, and really understanding that it's not all about you. They're going through things. Or even for my childhood issues, I had a lot of joy, not getting me wrong. I love my childhood, but looking back on it, there's a lot of trauma that came in that I suppressed and then I had to bring up. Using that through my childhood traumas like really helped me. My dad was never bound, and I think at age 3 is when he fully was out of the picture. And medium was like at age 3, your self-worth is like and I was like, age 3? What happened at age 3? She's like, yeah, like, I don't know. They're showing me age 3. And so I sat with myself in those meditations. Yeah, you don't remember what happened, but your body does. And I'm a life path number 2, so I emotionally felt everything. So I would sit in my meditations and sit with my childhood self, work on my abandonment issues, looking back at my little kid memories and how I felt about myself. I just want to hold her and hug her. I just didn't feel like I was worth anything, because for a girl, at least, the one person that's supposed to show you love is your dad, and he was not around or didn't show up in my life. And so I had to fully sit with those emotions. I would always be like, it doesn't really bother me, but it really does deep down. And when you sit with yourself as your childhood self and you're just sitting there thinking like, what's wrong with me? Why can't someone love me for who I am? Growing up with that, my childhood self really just has a lot of pain, and I would bring it up and my body would shake, and a lot of emotions, a lot of crying. I would act like my childhood self. It would come up, but in those moments I was just so alone. No one would really know if anything was wrong with me because I wore a beautiful mask. And it's very wild to me to see how much I have used that as a coping mechanism, like putting a mask up and shielding myself from emotions. As a child, I knew how to stop myself from crying or not say how I felt. The reason why I show up for myself is because I work on my abandonment issues daily. Every day of my life, I've woken up and just been like, I'm not worth anything, and I'm just healing from that. My nervous system was never calm. It was always alert. Look at this fluff. It was always just on guard. I learned that through therapy. When you're around a lot of negative energy, it impacts your life constantly. Even if it's just little comments. I grew up in a household where the only emotion that was shown in our household was anger, and crying and being vulnerable was just hidden. It wasn't really like an open space for you to express how you truly felt, because it'd be like, oh, you don't know anything. You don't know better. You're too young. So sometimes you just stop speaking your opinion. You just stop saying anything. And I learned that as a child. I just suppress how I feel so that other people can feel comfortable. As a child, if I didn't do what I was told to do in that moment, I would be shunned. Ignoring people was a very big thing, and I know that I wanted to grow out of that. I wanted to be able to communicate my feelings, learning my feelings, sitting with yourself and like healing with your emotions really helped me do that. But one of my courses that me and my sister have taught, I think it was January or February we had this year, I've had a student do an energy healing on me and actually do a reading on me, and she was spot on. I don't know if you guys have watched the Game of Thrones. She's like, Shannon is the third-eyed raven, and I haven't watched it fully, but she explained to me what it was. I see the past, present, and future of things that happen. I see it all, can see what you've gone through. I know and believe that everybody goes through this shit. Everybody has childhood traumas and things they need to work on and grow out of that. And I feel like those are our lessons and things that we need to learn as a soul, as a being. Sometimes I feel so disconnected in the world because of how much stuff I've had to heal from and grow from. I'm so grateful that I learned energy healing 5 years ago, and I've been able to use it in my daily life and use it through helping others and helping others unlock their gifts. It's just a very helpful tool that I've learned. For the last year, I've been using it every day. I've been doing energy healing on myself, really worked on my mental and my inner world. And I feel that's so important, because once you work on your inner world, then you can project it into your outer world. I'm at that point in my life where I just want so much peace, where if anybody's going to come into my life, it has to be so peaceful. You have to add to my life now. You can't take away from my life, because I've built so much. I get messages all the time like, why doesn't he like me? You're like, well, girls, when you do the healing and you really just work on yourself, you take a step back and be like, do they deserve me? That's the question you should ask yourself. It's not, oh, do they love me? Do they deserve me? Is the shift that I've been working on. Do they deserve my energy or time? Or are they earning you? Self-worth was one of my biggest themes on my journeys. When I was working on that, I saw myself in a crib and I was laying there, and then it was a phrase or thing that my dad would always say, man walking away, and then all of a sudden I was blown through all my memories of how I felt so worthless and unaccepting. Like showing me all outside factors and nothing was really how I felt about myself. Your worth doesn't come from outside validation, it comes from within. If you really look up what's the highest frequency, it's authenticity. I'm authentically and unapologetically myself now. I have family members that don't understand what I do. My grandma full out thinks I'm a witch. I can probably help her like knee pain and stuff and like help that stuff with energy healing. Will not receive it. Energy healing is a type of a service that however opened you are to the energy healing, that's what's gonna come through. You can send energy healing to anybody, but they won't receive it the same way that you do with like a full energy healing session of someone being fully open to receiving. I'm the hose. I'm the vessel of watering plants, and the water is the energetic field that comes through me that I just pour out information from spirit guides. Looking back now, I really just kind of like always knew I was gonna live in service of helping others. Growing up, I always wanted to help others, make other people happy. I love spreading great energy. I'm so grateful for my journey. I'm so grateful for the ups and the downs. And the main reason of why I really did all this energy healing is because once my sister had her son, you see yourself as that child and you will bring up emotions, especially her daughter. I just have a very big connection with her. It's just like seeing her as like little as she is and reminds me of me, and it would bring up a lot of things in my childhood, what I dealt with. I want to be in the most present, healed version of myself when I have kids. Emotional intelligence, like a big thing, is understanding your emotions and understanding someone else's emotions and regulating someone else's emotions. You can't really do that until you confront the things that you have been running from your whole life. What you think you're worth is really what's going to show up in this life, and only really you can decide that. Everybody has their own opinion. Everybody has their way. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Everybody has this day. Your worth does not come from outside factors. It doesn't come from the things that you have. It doesn't come from the people that you have around you. It comes from what you feel and how you see yourself. Your self-worth is the most important thing that you can fully work on, or your self-love. I find that once you really work on yourself, then you can really define what you deserve. It doesn't matter what other people think about you. All that matters is what you think about yourself and how you see yourself, and that will show up in every aspect of your life, because then you'll accept those types of energy because that's the energy that you're sitting at. I think I rambled on for a good amount of time. I'm so sorry if this was all over the place. Thank you for watching it all the way to the end. I just want to say before I go that I think you're doing an amazing job being you, and I'm proud of you for putting in the work of being the highest version of yourself, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
It's like we keep on